Hey everybody, welcome back to another EDH video. Today's video we're going to be talking about 3 legendary creatures from Bloomburrow that I think you're going to see a lot of play. You're going to see them for the first couple weeks Bloomburrow comes out. This is not deck text. There's not 3 deck texts in this video. This is just like 15 cards for each of the commanders that I think are going to just be in every single one of these decks. These decks are probably going to see a lot of play in like casual pods. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So first up we got Castrol, the Wind Crested, which is 3 generic and an Azorius for a legendary creature Bird Scout flying. Whenever one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, choose one. You may put a bird creature from your hand or graveyard on the battlefield with a finality counter, which a finality counter means whenever it dies it gets exiled. And then you can put a +1/+1 counter on each bird you control and draw a card. You can only choose one, but I think if you do like damage with a bird to each player, you get 3 of these abilities, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you get 3 if you attack 3 people with it and they all deal combat damage to the players. But yeah, this is going to be like, I think it's going to be the new bird commander. You're like, if somebody's playing birds, they're probably playing this. It's probably in the deck if it's not the commander. Especially in Azorius, there's a lot of bird support. More importantly, there's also flying support, which is there's a lot. Most of the birds are flying, if not all of them are flying. But yeah, here's some cards that I think are going to go in every single one of these Castrol decks. First up, we got Airborne Aid, which will draw a card for each bird in play. This counts your opponents, I believe. And then we have Avengerszindar, which is 6 mana, yeah, but it gets your birds +1/+1, and it's also a flyer. And it's a bird. So we got Celestial Gatekeeper, which will die, and you can exile and bring 2 birds back. We have Crookclaw Elder, which will tap your birds and draw a card. Also wizards, but it doesn't matter because most of your stuff will just have flying anyways, and it doesn't matter. Most of them won't even be wizards. Some of them do share wizard type, especially this one, but mainly we just care about the card draw on that. Next up we got Emperor and Eagle, which will give our flying creatures +1/+1, and it's also a bird. Favorable Winds, which give us stuff +1/+1 as well. Not a bird, but it's an enchantment, and you're going to be buffing your stuff up, and you're going to be swinging. Nobody's going to want to block those big old birds. Then we have Guhair, the Wind Lord. I don't know how to pronounce that. 4 Azorius. Gives your birds vigilance, and it has flying vigilance. Also a bird. High Sentinel of Areshin, which will give you your. It'll give itself +1/+1 for each other creature you control the +1/+1 counter. If you're putting +1/+1 counters on your birds, and this also puts +1/+1 counters on stuff, it's going to be big, and it's also a bird and a flyer. So you're going to be a big boy. Next we got Ishai, which is a partner commander, but also whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's also a bird, also a 1/1, but it's okay. They have Kanji, Area Keeper. It's actually a rotted to bird wizard now. It's not just a summon legend. It has flying and it has kicker, 2x, and you put X feather counters on it, and each bird gets +1/+1 for each feather counter on it. It's going to be good to buff up your birds. You're going to want to buff up your birds. I mean, obviously it's kind of mana intensive, but it's going to be good. I mean, it's a bird, and it's a bird, and it triggers birds, and it likes birds. And then we have Kanji, Sky Warden, which will give your stuff +2/+0 whenever it attacks your flying creatures, and then +0/+2 whenever it blocks. You give it to your flying creatures. Then we have Shabraz, the Sky Shark, has flying. Also, whenever you draw a card, put a +1 counter on it. It's also a shark bird. And then we have Soul Catcher's Airy, which is cheap. And whenever a bird is put in a graveyard, put a feather counter on it, and all birds get +1/+1 for each feather counter on it. That's good. That's really good. That's just, birds. Cares about birds. Is birds. Birds. Birds, birds, birds. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. It's just, birds. And then Throwing Bird. Proliferate those counters. So you're going to have a bunch of counters on your stuff, and it's also a Phyrexian bird horror, and it's a bird. So. And it proliferates. So it just synergizes all over the place. Just proliferating, putting counters on stuff. It's a bird. It's going to put counters on itself. It's going to proliferate those counters. It's a bird. Sadly, I already have an Azorius deck, but I would build birds because birds are cool. And I like Healer's Hawk and Healer's Flock and birds. Next up, we got Helga, Skittish Seer, which is a Bant, which is green, white, blue. Legendary creature, Frog Druid. First up, Frog Druid. Great creature type. Love frogs. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 4 or greater, you draw a card. Okay, it's already seemed like Tulane. you gain a life. Okay. Whoa. You put a +1/+1 counter on Helga. Okay, so 3 mana, do a bunch of stuff. They could have just put that on there. It would have been a fine card. It would have been good. It would have been great. It's a 1/3, but it doesn't matter. You could tap it and add X mana of any one color, where X is Helga's power, and spend this mana only to cast creature spells with mana value 4 or greater, or creature spells with X in their mana cost. So like, first off, like, they just literally just 3 mana, 1/3. Yeah, I know it's a little. I mean, it's already off. The power or whatever. But a 3 mana 3/3. I mean, it already taps for 3 when it comes down. So I think they try to nerf it a little bit with the 1/3, but still. I mean, I can see a world where you play like this turn 3, or even turn 2, and then turn 3 play a 4-drop. It's a 2/4, taps for 2, and you just keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling, and it's just going to be like pretty much Tulane. But you're not going to get the extra mana every time. Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's almost, it kind of seems like better in a way, but also worse in a way, if that makes sense. Same colors as Tulane, which these are just value engine colors. It's just Simic with white with the removal. That's pretty much all it is. Yeah, I think this is going to see a lot of play. If it doesn't, I'd be surprised. This instantly goes into Tulane deck, I think, if you're casting creature spells with mana 4 or greater. I know obviously you want low cost in Tulane, but I think there's a world where you build a Tulane deck with a lot of 4, like mana value 4 or graders, and you just play this alongside Tulane. Like, use tutor for this, get it out, and play Tulane. Draw 2 cards, put counters on this, tap this for mana, play more creatures. You can definitely do something crazy with this. So here's some cards. Beast Whisper, you'll double up your draw. Augur of Autumn lets you play lands from the top, so, whatever. But if you have 3 or more creatures with different powers, you cast creature spells from the top of your library. But lets you look at the top card. Yeah, and you're in kind of scry colors, so if you want, like scry. Next up, we got Tulane, which, yes, the big bad Tulane. It triggers your commander, has vigilance, and whenever you cast creature spells, it doubles up the draw, lets you put land cards into play, bounces stuff back to your hand, you can replay. Benevolent Hydra has X in its cost, lets you put additional +1/+1 counters on your creature, your commander, and then also you can remove counters from it to put them onto Helga to make a tap for mana, to make more mana, to cast more creature spells, to just keep the ball rolling. It's just gonna get crazy. If you have Chilean out and Helga, yeah, it's over. Hardened Scales lets you double up your counters. Galadriel lets you, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can choose one of those abilities that has been chosen, so you can add 3, which will let you cast more 4-drops. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of your creatures, so you'll get more counters on Helga, and then you can do scry and draw, which will help you get more 4-drops into your hand. Next up, we got Carrot Metro. Let's just search for forest or plains, put on the battlefield, tap, and shuffle your library whenever you cast a creature spell. And we're going to be casting a lot, so you're going to want to be able to get all your lands out, so you can cast more, and also you don't want to be drawing into lands a lot. You want to be just tapping this thing for 1,000,000 mana and casting more creature spells. I think this creature goes insane with Intruder Alarm. So you cast a 4-drop, you untap your Helga, cast another 4-drop, untap Helga, cast another 4-drop, untap Helga. It just keeps going over because you draw a card, boom, 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 and you just win the game. I think you just win the game from there. You just cast through your entire deck. I mean, if you can't, you're doing something wrong. It just goes insane with Intruder Alarm. It obviously goes in the deck. If it's not, you're probably just building a casual, fun deck and not like something you want to go infinite with. But you can definitely go infinite that way. Next, we got Mikaeus, the Lunarch, which is an X spell, so you can use the mana from your commander to cast it. You can remove a counter from it and put a +1/+1 counter on each creature control, which is doubling up your Helga counters. And Muldrifter, obviously, it's good. And just battlefield draws 2 cards. It just replaces itself. It's basically a 5 mana draw 3 on a 2/2 body. Is that good? Probably. Also, you gain 1 life, and you get a +1/+1 counter on a creature. So it's just, imagine Muldrifter with all that text. Is it good? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Next up, we got some cards that I think are going to be really good, because you're going to have Nyx Blue Mansion. You're going to tap your commander for 3 times the amount of mana that it can produce. So you say you have it as a 3/3, it produces 9 mana. Okay, with 9 mana, you can do whatever you want. I mean, in Paragon Drake, it's just a 5 mana untap 5 lands. You could even net mana if you have a bounce land or something. But it's basically free. I mean, it's a 5 mana draw a card, gain a life, and put +1/+1 counter on Helga. Is that good? I mean, it's free. 0 mana do that pretty much. I mean, as long as you have 5 mana, obviously. Roaming Throne basically doubles up your commander, so it also triggers your commander, so it's going to enter the battlefield. You're going to cast it, so you're going to get a draw and a +1/+1 counter, and then you're going to gain a life. But then you're going to play Roaming Throne, and you're going to choose Frog or Druid, and you're going to double up the stuff on it. So it doesn't double up the mana, but it does double up the counters, the draw, and the gain life, because it is a trigger ability. Then we have Seedbore Muse. You're going to want to be able to get something flash as well. Like give your creature spells flash, and you'll be able to just do this on everybody else's turn. I mean, Vidalcan Ori is okay. There's other cards that give your creatures flash. I can't really think of the names, but there's definitely stuff out there that does that. Yes, I think this is just going to be an insane deck. I think it's going to be Tulane. It's going to be the next Tulane. Oh, and last but not least, Silverback Elder. Silverback Elder is a 5 mana, so it triggers your commander, and also has the similar text on it, which says whenever you cast a creature spell, choose one. But I mean, obviously, Helga doesn't say that, but this will allow you to destroy artifacts and enchantments, gain 4 life, or put a land from the top 5 into the battlefield, tapped. I think you're going to want stuff that says whenever you cast a creature, you're going to want to double up on all those effects. You're going to be like, look, you're going to be casting a lot of creatures. You're going to want more stuff that, keeps the ball rolling. And also, you can just destroy artifacts and enchantments, and you can just gain a bunch of life that way. But yeah, that's Helga. I think it's going to be good. I think it goes in Tulane. I think Tulane goes in it. If you guys want to see a deck tech on it, you guys want to see a full deck tech on it, let me know. Leave a like and comment down below. Need Helga deck tech, please. But yeah, next up we got Balin. Balin the Haymaker is a Naya, which is red, green, white. Legendary creature, rabbit warrior with tap 2 untapped tokens you control. Add 1 mana of any color. Tap 3 untapped tokens you control. Draw a card. Tap 4 untapped tokens you control. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on Balin the Haymaker. It gains trample until end of turn. It is a 4/3 for 3 legendary creature, a rabbit warrior. Notably, you can tap the tokens without them having haste, because it has it on Balin and not the token. So you can do that. So they can just come in, just draw cards. They can come in and make mana. Come in, make Balin big. If you have and you can do this more than once. This doesn't say this is limited to once per turn. If they limited all these to once per turn, I think it'll be a little less broken. But I think this is going to be the best token commander in these colors. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's another card I don't know about. But this is pretty good. It literally is just tokens, tokens, tokens. That's all it cares about. It's tokens. There's a lot of cards in these colors that make tokens. And then if you wanted to give your tokens haste, you're in red. So you can just throw an Anger in your graveyard, and all your stuff has haste, and you can attack out with it if you want. You're also in white, so you can still give your stuff vigilance. You're in green, you could pump your stuff pretty good with Crater Hoop Behemoth. Yeah, it's pretty generic, but hey, might as well. But you can also just, if you have 60 tokens, you can just tap all of them, give Balin plus whatever, and it gains trample, so you just swing in with commander damage. You know what I mean? It can't block that much, if you have 40 untapped tokens, and you tap all 40 of them, what is that? So you activate it 10 times, so you get +30 in trample. So it's a 34/33. And you're swinging with lethal commander damage if they don't have blockers. That's broken. They have to block so much damage there. Yeah, let's get straight into the 15 cards. Yeah, these are not budget, but Annoyed Procession, Adventure of Zendikar. Annoyed Procession doubles your tokens. Adventure of Zendikar creates your tokens and also buffs your plants, at least. You play Avengers Zendikar and Annoyed Procession, you're going to get, if you have 7 lands, you're just going to get 14 0/1s. And you're going to tap all those for 7 mana, or however many cards, 5 cards. No, 4 cards. 4 cards, because you wouldn't have that many tokens. You'd only have, that, 14 I said, you'd only have enough to do 3 activations of that, but you'd still have 7 mana if you wanted to. You could also do it like pump your commander 3 times and give it +9/+9. That's still pretty good. Also, my math's probably off. And then we have Divine Visitation, which will create 4/4 angels, which are pretty good. You can swing with. They also have Vigilance. And then a Meritangers. If somebody tries to, red board wipe you, you just prevent all the damage, because who cares? Like, if somebody tries Blasphemous acting you for 1 mana, you just be like, nope, I'm Meritangers. You can't do anything. Good luck. And then, yeah, Divine Visitation. You create 4/4s. 4/4s are better than 1/1s. But I mean, maybe not for this scenario. But if you're trying to win, yeah, you want 4/4s over 1/1s, I think. Especially if they have Flying and Vigilance. They're probably a little worse to tap for your commander because they're not as useless as a 1/1. But, like I said, if you're trying to win, Divine Visitation is probably the way to go for if you don't want to do Crater Hoop Behemoth. Then we have Galton Mavrin, which creates either a big token or a bunch of little tokens, where X is the amount of creatures that are attacking. You're probably going to attack with a lot of stuff here, I believe. Sometimes you might just attack with your commander. That might just be what you want to do if you build it that way. But if you want to go wide and not tall, you could probably do both, honestly. The more tokens you have, the bigger your commander is going to be. Or if you want a full swing, if they have a lot of stuff to block with, you can create a bunch of X1s. Not X1s, but X11s, you know what I mean? And then we have Finale of Glory, which will let you create X 2/2s. And if X is bigger than 10, you create X 4/4s. 2/2s, you can just tap them for mana or draw cards. But the 4/4s, you can actually attack with. They're pretty good. They're angels, of course. But you're going to have a lot of mana in this deck. You're going to be pumping a lot of mana into X. So you're just going to tap 7. Or even like you're going to tap like 15 tokens, 16 tokens. You're going to get 8 mana. You could pump 8 into X, get 8 2/2s, tap those for 4 mana, do another thing, tap those, if they create tokens, you're just kind of just keep the ball rolling that way. You can also draw cards if you run out of cards. It's going to be pretty good. And so we got Grand Cendo, which is the same thing, but it'll also give your creatures indestructible until a turn. It's also an instant, so you can do this at instant speed, tap a bunch of your tokens. So you have like 50 tokens on the battlefield, tap all of them for mana, get 25, and pump it into X, and get 25 more, and gain indestructible on them. So like somebody tries to board wipe, they all get indestructible. And then we have Intangible Virtue, which if you're going more of an attacking strategy, it's going to give your creature tokens +1/+1 in Vigilance, which I think is going to be always good. Just if it's a 2/2 token and it turns into a 3/3, that's the difference of blocking somebody's 3/3 commander or 3/2 3/3 commander. You know what I mean? But I think it's just going to be good because it's Vigilance as well, so you can attack for free, and then on their turn cast an instant or give your creatures flash and cast them on their turn. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be really good if you have these 2 cards in there. If you do it together, you swing out with all your tokens, and then on their turn you tap all of them and you give all your stuff indestructible, and you give a bunch of tokens because they're trying to board wipe, and then it'll be good. Then we have more ways to double up our tokens and also triple up our tokens with Modrak and Ojer will triple, Modrak will double. Obviously, I want to create a bunch of tokens. This is the way to triple them. So you say you tap something and you create a 1/1, you get 3 tokens. Wow, that's a card. You just made a card. You tap something, say it's a squirrel's nest attached to your land. Tap the land, create a 1/1 squirrel. But instead you create 3. Oh, boom. Look, you tapped a land and drew a card. Is that pretty good? I think it's good. I mean, I think it is good. Tapping a land and drawing a card, 1 mana, 1 card, pretty much, because you're going down the land, obviously. But next up we got Reese the Redeemed and Pest Infestation. Pest Infestation, you're going to be creating a bunch of mana. So you can destroy X target artifacts or enchantments, and then create twice X 1/1 green-black pest creature tokens, and then they also die and gain a life. That's just flavor text, honestly. I mean, it can come into handy, but you're just going to be tapping them a bunch anyways and just drawing a bunch of cards and creating a bunch of mana. But also you can just destroy everybody's artifacts and enchantments. Say somebody has like 50 treasures, just like be like, yo, I'm going to pay 50 into X because I'm going to tap all these tokens and make a bunch of mana. And I'm going to destroy all your treasures. And they'll be like, oh man, why are you targeting my treasures, man? This sucks. I mean, treasures is a big thing, but I mean, this is an example. So, treasures are a big thing in the format now. I mean, obviously you don't want to do that, but it forces their hand to tap all their treasures and sacrifice them for mana. But you could definitely do something like that if you have enough mana. This deck, I feel like this deck's going to create a bunch of mana because you're going to create a bunch of tokens, which also is mana, and that's just the way the world goes. Your Balin is just broken. Like this, I think this set is this like the definition of power creep. Like I don't know. This card's just like 3 mana 4/3 first off. It's just insane. Like it has all these abilities, man. Like what's going on, Wizards? And then Reese the Redeemed, obviously, it's pretty big commander in the format. This is a 1 mana 1/1, but you can create a 1/1 green elf. Creates tokens for mana, but it creates tokens. Then you can also just create pretty much double the amount of tokens you have for 6 mana. Yeah, you're gonna 6 mana, but you're gonna create tokens and then tap those tokens for more mana to do something bigger with. Sure, it seems bad, but it's good. Trust me, it's good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be like whenever you do this, you're gonna be like, wow, I just doubled my mana pretty much, and it's definitely gonna do stuff. And then Second Harvest does a similar thing to Reese's second ability for 4 mana though. And then Scoot Swarm, I don't even have to explain Scoot Swarm, do I? I don't think I have to. Scoot Swarm gets out of control really, really fast. And if you create, say they passed a turn, they didn't blow up all your Scoot Swarms. I mean, this is obviously magical Christmas land, as Command Zone would say. You play a land and you have 10 Scoot Swarms on the battlefield. You play a land and you get 20, and you tap those for 10 mana, and then you second harvest, and then you create 20 more Scoot Swarms, and you play a land. So you have like a exploration out, and then you play another land and you have 80, and then you just do a bunch of crazy stuff. It just sounds a little crazy to me. And then we have Parallel Lives, obviously. Tokens, double tokens. You're gonna want that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good in any token deck, but I think it's gonna be especially good in this because it'll just double up your mana, double up your card draw, double up your plus and plus counters on your commander. And yeah, this set is gonna be legendary creatures are gonna be good. You're gonna see a lot of these across from you at the table, I believe. But yeah, this is this is the 3 commanders I chose to kind of do like a quick take. I want to say quick take. I know that's stealing from Mitch from the command quarters, but I just kind of want to do like a commander. Like these are cards that should be in these decks because this is gonna go insane with the commander. This I don't know. I don't think these cards needed to be printed. Honestly, like first off, the Bank Commander is literally True Lane minus the land drop. I know, but it still adds mana, and like I said, it'll literally go infinite with Intruder Alarm. And I mean, maybe like obviously you have to draw into the 4 drops, but if you have like 45 4 drops in your deck, you're likely gonna draw into something and just keep on chugging along. You're gonna be spinning your wheels a lot. Like all 3 of these decks are gonna be spinning your wheels a lot. You're gonna be taking 20-minute turns, and it's gonna be like, man, this sucks. But people are still gonna play them because they're good, and I think the most interesting one is the Bird Commander. I like the Bird Commander. It might be the less spin the wheels one, but still, it's a Bird Commander, and it literally just is really good. It's 5 mana, yeah, but it's a Bird Commander. Like I said, birds. So, if you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed me ranting about power creep and how this set shouldn't have been printed, but I'm still gonna like the cards, and I'm still gonna play a lot of the cards that are printed. Leave a like, and subscribe, and let me know if you guys want full deck text of each of these commanders, because I will do that if you guys want that, or that's something you guys would enjoy watching or listening to or whatever. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.